Recording started, and we're going to kick this off. Happy February, everyone. How are you guys doing? Did January feel like 167 days? Let me know, how many days did January feel like for you, right? January was sweet to us. We ended up having a brand new grandbaby, baby Ruby. So it was sweet, sweet, sweet ending to an incredible month. But so excited about February and doing the Legacy Bootcamp with each and every one of you. When we did this last year, it was called The Power of One. How many of you were here when we did it last year called The Power of One? And you remember the incredible results that you got doing it, right? And so here's what I want you to be super intentional about. You may think, oh, I already know all this information. I don't even have to be on these trainings. You would be mistaken. That would be like me saying, for the better part of today, I've been on a training series. Literally, it started at 3. I literally hit end at 7:30 p.m. So 4.5 hours I spent on a training today. That would have been like me saying, oh, I don't need this. I already know enough. As a matter of fact, here's a story for you. I actually know someone, and I've actually a few people who've said to me before, what are you going to teach me that I don't already know? I've been doing this longer than you. They actually, their businesses did this. Okay. So when you think you've learned it all, you are in big, big trouble. So I'll set all that to say, make sure you still show up to these because these are new trainers, new conversations, new ways of doing things, new tactics. As a matter of fact, last year we didn't have Angela, Tiffany, or Gina training. And so just on night one alone, you were getting 3 incredible trainers. And how many of you was sneaking around on the website today and noticed we have free enrollment? We have free enrollment for February. How exciting is that? What perfect timing for corporate to give us free enrollment when we're doing an enrollment challenge called the Legacy Bootcamp. How incredible is that? And if you've never done it, if you're like, I don't even know what the Power of One was, let me just break it down for you. The Legacy Bootcamp is going to be 5 days of training that's going to teach the exact steps that you need to help you get a business partner in your business. You're going to get the entire month of February to go out there and get your business partner. And then at the end of the month, we're going to post a Google form that you're going to fill out. And we're going to send you a fun little prize in the mail for getting your one. It is going to be very intentional, very dialed in. All you have to do is show up each night, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for the trainings. And then on Thursday, it'll be at 12 p.m. Eastern because Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have one huge opportunity call that we're going to be giving away a daily health system on that call. So we're going to push everybody to that opportunity presentation on Thursday. It is going to be action packed, power packed. The information is going to be so good. And we have so many brand new people training that you are just going to be mind blown. And here's what's really cool. Since we're recording it, let's say you go tonight and you get your one. You could share the replay of this one with them and then they can then participate. Let's say you don't recruit somebody until Friday after it's over. Don't worry. You're going to have the trainings and you can share them with them to help them get their one. The goal is simple. We want to help you get one. Okay. Because what happens when we get one? I was literally just listening to a training, a lady that I've known for years. Her name is Krista, and she was saying the power of just getting one, getting into action and getting one is just absolutely real. Because if you can get one, guess what? You can get two. But if you put too many numbers in your head, how many of you have ever looked at jade or looked at emerald or looked at red diamond and thought, oh my God, how would I ever get there? Like it overwhelms you, right? How many of you would agree with that? Put a 1 in the chat if you're like, it overwhelms you to think about where you are and where you want to be, right? Let me just tell you something. How many of you are on here right now? The Sonaras, the Ginas, the Nicolettes, the Sarahs, I'm just talking a few of the names that I can think of that felt the same way when you got started. Like it was overwhelming to think, how am I going to get enough people to get here? Right. But each and every one of us started by recruiting one person. And the one turned into 2, that turned into 3, that turned into tens of thousands. And so I don't want you to count yourself out because you aren't where you want to be. Instead, what I want you to do is lean into the trainings that you are going to get over these next 5 days. And these are going to be the very basic principles that me and every single other top income earner in this entire profession, not just Tronant, but in this entire profession has used to get to where they are. I'm talking about very average, normal people. Nicolette, she was a very introverted school teacher when she got started. Sarah was a paramedic when she got started. Gina still works a very 60, 70 hour a week full-time job and was still able to earn 6 figures here at Tron. These are the steps that each and every one of us took to get to where we are. And when we like literally lay this out for you, you're going to be like, oh, that's what they mean when they say it's simple. And that's why we're doing this over 5 days. So first, I need a commitment from you. How many of you are committed to showing up for the next 5 days? For 5 days, you're going to show up and you're going to watch the training. Put I'm committed in the chat. You're going to show up and you're going to watch the training. But here's the most important piece. When we show up to watch the training, we get a dopamine hit, right? It feels good. We're like, I'm doing the thing. I showed up and it was busy, right? But you showed up and you did the thing. What's most important is that you take action. Okay. So my next commitment from you that I need is after each training, you're going to do what you're taught. You're going to take the action. So I want you to say, I'm committed to both, to showing up to learn and then to taking the action, because confidence comes from consistency. That's the only way you build the confidence, right? And the only way you generate income is if you continue to take the action. So you have to take the action to get the income. Well, we all agree, right? So let me tell you who you're going to be learning from tonight and why these women paired together is going to be the perfect match for the kickoff of the Legacy Bootcamp Day 1. First, we have Angela Dunn. Angela Dunn is a mom to 4. She's lived all over the world. How many of you have ever thought, man, it would be cool to live in Bali or Thailand? Or maybe you think that wouldn't even be like in my realm of thinking that's possible. That's Angela Dunn. She's literally lived all over the world. She currently resides just like right outside of Destin, Florida. Beautiful emerald green coast. Absolutely loves where she is now. But she's also been a 6-figure earner in this industry for years. For years, she has been a 6-figure earner in this industry. If you know her, you know she's one of the sweetest, kindest souls. And one of her greatest joys is pulling out greatness in others and helping you realize what you can do if you're just willing to be patient with yourself and learn the skills. And then we have Miss Tiffany Abel. Did you know that Tiffany worked in a medium maximum security prison for men? Hello. Did you guys know that? Did you know that about Tiffany? She's a mom, a special needs mom. She is a grandma. She has been in this profession for 6 years. And guys, she literally recruits the pants off of most people and gets so many customers. She wins the trips. She earns the trips. She's always on leaderboards. And tonight she is going to be sharing with you how she talks to people and starts conversations. And then we have Miss Gina Della. How many of you love Gina Della from Pella? Speaking of Gina, did you know she is confirmed as one of our speakers for our national convention in March in Provo, Utah? How many of you have your ticket for that? Put I've got my ticket in the chat. And if you don't, you're going to want to run and get your ticket, because I'm telling you, there is no funnier human on this planet than Gina Della. I would literally pay $500 just to have Gina trade me for an entire weekend, because she's just so funny. You do not want to miss her at convention. And you're going to get to hear from Angela and Tiffany as well. But here's the deal. She was already crazy successful, you guys. I'm talking multiple 6 figures a year in her corporate job. Multiple 6 figures a year. She's on the podcast. She's on the billboard. She's on the radio. She's at every sporting event in Wisconsin. You guys know who I'm talking about. So why would someone like her be interested in something like this? Well, it's because Sonara Brown did not decide for her if this was for her. She reached out to her and said, listen, I have found a way you could earn an additional 6 figures while you're still doing your day job. Gina didn't ask any questions. She said, here's my credit card. Just sign me up. And now she has built a six-figure-a-year business here at Trinot, and she's going to be sharing with you why you shouldn't be prejudging anyone and how all different types of people will be attracted to you. So, without any further ado, I'm going to bring up Miss Angela Dunn to kick us off. Angela, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Tina, for that amazing welcome. Oh my goodness, I was like a little emotional. She just talks about me so nicely. You're so sweet. We've become such good friends. Okay, so here's the thing. I want you all to understand your list. We're talking about your list. It's probably going to be pretty quick, but I want to tell you this is my favorite thing in the world to do. And my friend from like high school that I'm still very good friends with to this day, she called me one day. She's like, I think of you as like a friend collector. And I was like, oh, that sounds a little weird. I was like thinking of the movie Bone Collector, right? Like, ooh. And she goes, no, it's a good thing. She said, you're always making new friends, you're always making new connections. And you have so many friends, it's kind of unreal. So I want you all to write that down. I am a friend collector. See yourself as a beautiful, vibrant, energetic person that is dynamic and people are drawn to you anywhere you go. So we all know, right, about the business builder hours. Please make sure you're attending those. At least try to go to a couple this week. We have got them all over the board, right? So when you're on there, we talk about the very first thing. And I think the business builder hours are so important, but the first one is huge. And this is the biggest asset in your business: connections, making friends, connecting with new people. You want to continuously always have an ever evolving list. And I never take people off my list. I know some people want to write them off and say, oh, that person said they absolutely are not interested. You guys, I have two pearls on my team who, for the first year and the other one for 2 years, told me, no, thank you. I'm not doing it. You're not going to get me to sign up for that thing. End of story. Stop. I'm not talking to you. I did not take them off my list. And I just kind of kept connecting with them. Right. So that's our job, is to connect with people and be a good person. This is your biggest asset. Don't treat it poorly. Don't treat it like it's a pickup line at a bar for somebody, right? This is so important for you to grow and nurture your list. So, where do you find these people? As you know, on the Business Builder Hours, if you've been on there, you're going to do those things where you're connecting on Facebook, right? Groups, you're going to go connect. If you like chickens, find a chicken group. Go make genuine connections. If you like gardening, find people in gardening, right? You guys know how that works, right? You're going to go connect with people and have real connections with people who you actually really want to talk to. If somebody doesn't have a good vibe and you don't think that they're someone you'd want to be friends with, I wouldn't connect with them. I wouldn't continue to connect with them if it feels yucky. If it feels good and you're like, that would be really fun to work with them someday, even if it takes a year, continue to have that relationship grow, right? But don't be an icky person. Be really genuine and go find genuine connections, and it will evolve appropriately over time. But remember, the reason why we're always evolving our list, I've brought hundreds of people into Trinot, right? But a lot of the people come and go because they just don't have that thing. And we're always looking for those people that have that thing, right? If I could just recruit a couple rock stars, if I could just bring a few people in. And genuinely, you really only need a handful or two of people that love this like you do, work really hard, and do all the things that we all do to have success here. But you're going to have to keep building that list continuously and adding to it to find the right people. And then what I want you to do is, on your list, if you're starting a new list today, excuse me, I want you to put as your number one person on your list, I want you to put your name on there, because you should always be that rock star and that person on your list who you're looking for. And if you're not, who's going to be attracted to it, right? So let's take it off of Facebook for a few minutes. Think about when you go out in the community. This is another way. I love meeting people in real life. I know Facebook and social media is amazing, right? I have 4,500 or so friends on Facebook. And so I don't have every one of them on my list, but people that I'm seeing interact on my stories and on my comments and in my posts and stuff, right? Those are the people I'm adding to my list on a regular basis. And we know how to do that, but I want you to also be that person out in the community. But are you going to talk about your business right away? No. In fact, I actually really try to prevent conversation going to my business. When I meet people at the book club or when I go out and about at like a vendor event or whatever, right? I have a friend of mine who's in my business. She's a realtor and a local business owner. And she is one of my favorite people to work with these days because when she first started talking to me at her business, she was hoping to get my business as a realtor. And she actually ended up having that happen. But over the summer, she watched my life. I had all this freedom and flexibility, and we traveled across the US. And she sees me posting on Facebook. What are you doing? And I was like, oh, it's just this social media thing. Oh, I lessen the amount of conversation about what I do, and I ask them questions. How can I get you interested in what I'm doing? Because how would this benefit you? And that's the other thing too, is when you're talking to people, don't make it about you. If I could just get them, if I could just recruit them in and they could be the rock star. First of all, we're going to be the rock star. So people are going to feel that energy from us and want to be part of our collection of friends, right? But then you're going to go out and say, how can I help that person? When I'm listening to you and I'm hearing what you like and what you want to do, one of my more recent recruits that I brought in is someone who I've been friends with for 3 years now, and they were not interested at all for several years, but he works in the medical profession and he's been doing it for so long, he doesn't even like what he does anymore. So never, and I think, Gina's going to talk about this later too, but never think someone's too good for what we do or that he doesn't my friend wants an out. He wants to have a backup plan to get out and retire early, right? So don't ever write anybody off your list. Add them and keep nurturing and growing those conversations in that relationship. Okay. So continue to do it. And like I said, okay. And then the actual physical list, you can do it however you want. All the leaders on here might tell you something differently. I'm going to tell you do it how it's going to work for you. If you have a list and it's sitting on your desk at home under a bunch of papers and you never look at it, it's not going to work for you. If it works for you to do a Excel spreadsheet because you're that organized, that's not me. I have lists all over the place, but a lot of it's here, honestly, just telling you. I have a massive list going all the time, but I have these exposure sheets, right? I have this whole booklet full of names and I'm always going back to it. So, but again, however it works for you, I know that Sonara has also shared one that we have somewhere too, so we can find that for you if you don't know where it is. We have a document that you can add people to. But however it works for you, that's how you've got to do it because otherwise it's not going to work for you. We can have lists all over the place, but if it doesn't work for us, we're not going to do it, right? Okay, so when you're out and about in the community, I want you to meet new people, whether you're in line with them at the store or you're hanging out. Oh, if you're on an airplane and you're sitting next to them, or you're at a restaurant and you end up sitting next to them, wherever it is that you're at and you're meeting new people, add them to your list. And this is how I do it. Hey, I really enjoyed our conversation. I'd love to stay connected. Can I add you on Facebook? Then that person is going to start seeing what you're doing and they're going to be in your stories and then they go on your list. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So you're continuously adding to your list all the time and looking for those people that really want to do what we're doing. If you're at a vendor event, go around and genuinely have conversations with them. If it's a farmer's market or a vendor event, go and look at their products. Talk to them with genuine interest, if you have it, right? About what they're selling. What are they doing? What service are they providing? Have a conversation and then grab their card. You can go Facebook friend them later because guess what? They're in business and they want more friends too. So it's like, again, that realtor experience that I had, right? She was thinking, oh, they're going to sell their house soon. It'd be cool if I was their realtor. And I'm going, well, that's cool. I might need a realtor, but also she's cool. I love her energy. She could end up loving doing what I'm doing. And then I just kind of let it go. Again, I don't talk about most of the time, even if I'm meeting people like at the book club I went to last week with a bunch of local ladies that I'm kind of getting to know, they ask me what I do and I'll tell them just a little snippet and then I flip it and say, what do you do? And then ask them all sorts of questions about what they're doing. Ask them about their life. Ask them about their kids. When you show genuine interest and you're a good person, people are more connected and more attracted and want to do that with you too, right? So another thing that I want to tell you guys a really quick story because you just never know where someone on your list is going to come from. So when the ladies and I went to Disney World in November, we end up at this hibachi restaurant. So this is why I want you to understand, and they're laughing. They already know this story. I don't want you to count anybody out. Again, I never take anybody off my list once they go on my list. They never ever go anywhere. So we're sitting at this restaurant, okay? And then I'm almost done, I promise. We're sitting at this restaurant, but it's one of those hibachi restaurants where it's like, you're half, yeah, I can't do it, half like a half rectangle, right? So we've got all of them over here, and I came in last, so I end up sitting on the end of, a loud restaurant, and we're kind of separated, but they're all chatting. And at first I'm thinking, oh, I'm at the end. That's okay. No big deal, right? Because I have a pretty good attitude. And then all of a sudden, this man, mid to late 50s, comes and sits down next to me, very kind of average, maybe looks like an engineer or something. And then his adult son ends up sitting down next to him too. Again, average looking guy in his 20s, like thinking, my first knee jerk reaction, this is why I'm telling you this story. My first human knee jerk reaction was, oh, why am I sitting next to this guy? Right? Don't ever count those conversations that you can have out. Again, if you're sitting on a plane next to someone, same thing. The same thing can happen. It's the exact scenario. So we're sitting there, and I'm kind of talking to the ladies, and Tina, I think it's Tina's next to me, and I could hear a little bit, but all of a sudden he asks me a question. Well, what are you guys doing here? What is this group of ladies? You guys are sure having a lot of fun. What's going on over there? And I tell him a little bit, and then we just start talking about life. And then he asks me a little bit more. He's having to pull it out of me. I mean, we're sitting next to each other for an hour at least. He's not going anywhere. So I'm not going to give it all away at once. And then I'm thinking, like, he's not going to want to do this with me. And then a few minutes later, he's like, well, maybe my wife would want to do what you're doing. He goes, I mean, heck, maybe I would. I wouldn't mind retiring a little early. And I was like, well, that's cool. So we start talking. I add him on Facebook. And then I'm thinking his son's just, again, this little regular looking Joe Schmo guy, right? He's just hitting over there. He has over 200 and some thousand people on TikTok that follow him. He's already in social media. You never would have guessed it. Never would I have guessed that he would be interested in the business. His wife could be potentially interested in the business. Same with his daughter. And he and I are in conversation. Again, that was November. So some people will jump on and just go, sure, I'll do that with you. And a lot of people will ignore you. I get it. A lot of people on your knit list will say no and they'll ignore you. But some people like that, when you're making genuine connections, it takes time. You're having conversations, you're nurturing that, right? He's watched a video now. He's showing it to his wife. His son, I'm not going there yet, but that'll be later, right? Like sometimes you got to let them just nurture and evolve over time. So I hope that makes sense. I really wanted to share that story because I never want you to ever question why someone comes into your presence. Everybody comes into your life for a reason. And again, if you keep out of your mindset saying, oh, if I could just get them, oh, if they could, maybe they could be a rock star. Don't do that when you feel the desperation and you feel that kind of like, I got to get that person. People feel it. And so if you're feeling energetically wise, especially even when you're messaging, because again, I've said this before in another training, but if you can believe in the light bulb and the Wi-Fi and all the things, our energy is also felt by people. They can feel that in our presence, even in a message. So if we're sending a text message, hey, I think you should do this thing that I'm doing. It's a lot of fun, but you're feeling anxious or desperate, they're going to feel it. So get in a good space before you send messages, get in a good space before you talk to people, and just honestly don't count anybody out. Offer it to everybody and bring them into your life and into your Facebook world or whatever social media platform you work on. And I really just want you guys to know that that is the most important part, is to be a person, a good, genuine person. Continued. And I know that maybe you were expecting this conversation from talking about a list, but to me, that is the list. Be a good, genuine person. Bring in good, genuine people. We only want good, genuine people here with us anyway, right? We want to grow this amazing community and keep bringing in amazing people. And that only happens when you're putting out that good energy and talking to the right people and doing it the right way. So again, I brought in hundreds of people here. Not all of them stick around, and that's okay. You're going to find the right people when you just keep making those genuine connections and then go to the next thing, like what Tiffany's going to talk to you about next, having those conversations. Okay. Having the conversations. Also get to convention because it's the most fun thing ever. I know we've already talked about that, but you guys have to be there. It's so fun to see each other, give each other hugs, and be in the energy of the other people, that then you learn how to be more dynamic and be that dynamic person that goes out in the world and talks to more people to add to your list and bring here with or not. Okay. And the other thing, one more thing real quick. I am the biggest person about follow-up personally. So continuing to keep those people on your list, to continue following up with them. I promise you, if I bought a $25,000 roof because the guy kept calling me Not because he had the best deal. It was actually about $500 more, but he kept following up with me. So he kept me on his list. The list is the key, but be a good person. I'm going to let Tiffany take over and share with you guys how to start those conversations. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you and love you all.
Oh my gosh. Can you see why I just love her so much? She is so genuine and she has the heart and everything. And I want to bounce off one thing that she said quick. And the biggest thing is when we talk to anyone and when we are anything with any part of this business, if we are not looking at people as what do we have to offer them? How are we going to change things for them? You might as well stop now. And I know that probably just went what? Because the thing is you're putting that out there. This isn't about, this is so much bigger than us. This is a service. I like to look at this as we are going out and we're almost like disciples of God, kind of delivering a message and getting this out there. We're out there trying to find the mamas to bring home from work. We're trying to bring people into a new calling of life. We're trying to help them. We're trying to serve them. So it's not about how are we going to make more money? How are they going to serve us? How are they going to put up our volume? It is about what can we do for them? How can this opportunity change their lives? How can one simple conversation make something better for them? So I want you all to think about that. The next time you're sending a message to somebody and you look at them and look at their profile and look at their life, how could Trinot and the opportunity and the products here help them and make their situation better? That's what we're all looking for. And when you look at it and approach it in that aspect, I'm going to tell you, things are going to absolutely change. When you live in an unselfish part of life, that is when you grow. And it's also going to bring you the type of people that you need to help grow, because those are the people that want and need this community in their lives. But when you're out there just chasing the next thing, you are constantly going to be stuck in that hamster wheel, and it is not going to serve anybody. Okay, back to where I'm at, and that is the conversation. So, conversation comes before confidence. Okay, so what this really means, most people think confidence is something you get first and then you take action, but that is completely backwards. Confidence is the result. So, say like this: confidence isn't something you're missing; it is something you build. Confidence is built through action, not before. Okay, I'm gonna put this up so I can read it. Not before it. Confidence shows up, but think about inboxing more. It shows up after you do it, even messy. Okay, truth. The first message feels awkward. The first voice memo feels weird. The first follow up feels scary, but the 10th feels normal and the 50th feels easy. You're not going to think your way into confidence. You're going to move your way into it. Every opportunity starts with a simple hello. Nobody nobody buys from a stranger. Nobody joins a stranger, and nobody trusts a stranger. So it is your job. It isn't your job to close people. It is your job to stop being a stranger. And you wouldn't walk into a room, you wouldn't walk into a room and yell, "Hey, buy my stuff." You'd walk into a room and say, "Hi, my name is so and so." You would introduce yourself. You would sit down on a couch. You would have a conversation with somebody. You would get to know them. And then, as time went on, as Angela was saying, you would eventually get into what do you do, all that stuff, and you would turn it to business. but I'm not here to tell you about turning a conversation to business. Nicolette is going to go over that with you tomorrow because Nicolette is the queen of pivots. Okay. So I am here just to talk to you about conversations and how important they are in this business. Um, Waiting to feel ready is just going to keep you stuck. Okay. There, um, the I don't want to bother people. That's just in your mind. That's a backward saying of fear of rejection. I don't know what to say. That's another way of saying, I'm afraid I might sound dumb. I need to learn more for first. Sometimes it's a fear of being seen. So here's the thing with that. Not bothering people, you're not bothering people. If they don't want to say hello or have a conversation with you, they're not going to conversate back, and that's okay. Not knowing what to say, it's a simple hello, how are you doing? I have 10 simple conversation openers for you guys, and you need to learn more first. Opening up a conversation, we've been doing it our whole lives. If you guys imagine sitting across the table, a cup of coffee in your hand, or standing across somewhere, just chatting with somebody. How are you doing? Pull a conversation. The easiest thing that we have nowadays at our fingertips is we have ChatGPT. If you start getting into a conversation with somebody and you're not sure where to lead with it, screenshot what you're doing, put it into your ChatGPT and just say, I want to keep this conversation going. I want to keep it going and I want to be empathetic. I want to be compassionate and I want to get to know this person more. Can you please help it flow along nicely and evenly and give me some leading questions? And ChatGPT will come right back and help you open that up. So, if you are waiting to feel confident before you message people, you're going to stay stuck. Confidence is built through action, not before it. Every opportunity you've ever had starts with a simple hello. And if you wait until you feel ready, you'll keep telling yourself tomorrow while your goals sit on pause. You're not here to be perfect. We're here to be consistent. There's that word again, consistent. So it is so easy sometimes that it is a little scary, but just by getting in someone's inbox and saying, hey, how are you doing? Beth Westland has a great message she sends to people. I don't know if she's on here right now, and maybe she could drop it in a chat. It's one that she sends to people when they're on, she sees their little light on. And it's a great connecting message with a great little conversion. And it's just, hey, I saw you were on right now, and I just wanted to pop in and just say hello. Something as easy as that. And you will hear, if you guys have been on any of Eric Worre's trainings, and I've been on a lot of them, and there's best message. It's perfect. Short to the point, just very sweet. I have been on quite a few of Eric Worre's trainings, but there is an old saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. And it's one of my favorite sayings of all times because I have heard Eric Worre say things quite a few times. But on his last training he was talking about the conversation, and it was like somebody did that old V8 right in the forehead. And it was like, it's that simple. Like it really resonated with me of just going in and being human and just saying, hey, how are you doing? And I went back to some of my old business conversations to where I was sending these people, hey, we have a sale, we have this, what, and they had been ghosting me and ghosting me. And I thought, why don't I be human with these people? Why don't I just send them, hey, Happy New Year, how have you been? I haven't chatted with you in a while. I've brought back 3 customers by being human, just by being human. So it's all in the conversation, even though they were a customer of the past. And I thought just literally by spamming them with things that they would see, oh, well, I used the products in the past. But sometimes that's just not it. Sometimes people just need a human conversation. Um, so why conversation matters. Posting creates awareness, but conversations create connection. So you've heard us all probably say that the days of posting and praying are over. If you were in the industry during COVID, posting and praying was great because everybody just scrolled and they were like, what's she doing? She was going to get in your inbox. She was going to, and sometimes once in a while, you hit a gold nugget and somebody does inbox you off of what you're doing. But people want to be reached out to. They want to be sought after. They want to be made to feel special. And that's why conversation is the key. Trust is built privately, not publicly. A lot of people are very private and they want to stay that way. Relationships always come before results. So take the time, warm up to people. And Angela kind of mentioned part of this. You don't just walk up to somebody, sit down next to them in a bar and say, hi, you want to go home with me tonight? I think that's great. Maybe next week we should get married. That's not how that works. You have to, maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're like 55 and just ready to settle down and they are too, that might be okay. But you get to know them. You go out to dinner, you spend time together. And it's the same thing. It's maybe in Vegas. Yes, MJ. You grow a relationship, you grow a rapport. People need to know who you are because that is very important. And just a nice, simple conversation. And when you're starting these conversations that I'm talking about here, this is not a conversation that we're going to be pitching anything. We're going to be explaining anything or convincing of anything. Don't send long messages. This is just a sweet, how are you doing? Get to know them. Ask questions. Stay in control of the conversation. Keep making sure when you end the conversation or when you send something, it's always a question to get them to answer back. In this situation, it's the situation where you were given 2 ears and 1 mouth and just kind of go back and forth and volley it. So it's just say hello, ask how someone is doing, be be curious and be genuine, letting the conversation unfold naturally. Ask open-ended questions, listen more than you talk, follow their lead, stay present instead of rushing them. One conversation does not change everything. Consistent daily action does. Say less to more people. I'm sure we've heard that quite a few times so far. You're even hearing that come down from corporate. Open up conversations with quite a few people per day because you're not necessarily going to get a response back from everybody you're messaging. So send that, hey, how are you doing message to quite a few people. You may send it to 10 people and only get 3 people to respond. And out of those 3 people that respond, you might only get the conversation to go forward with one of those 3 people. It is finding your great needle in a haystack. But as we move forward in this business, like Angela said, you want the right person to come into your life and you want it to fit well for them as well. Direction comes after trust. Simple, respectful transition works the best. Clarity is kind, pressure is not. So with that, that's where the pivot of the conversation comes in. And like I said, Nicolette is going to take care of that tomorrow. And with the people that you're having the conversations with, they come from all different walks of life. And you want to make sure that you are connecting with people in all different walks of life. Never, ever prejudge anybody. I learned this from day one when I came in. It doesn't matter if they are a doctor, a lawyer, a waitress, because that goes over to Gina and she is going to explain this to you because she has so much diversity with the people she has brought into the business, and she's going to tell you way more about this and go into depth. So over to you, Miss Gina.
Okay, happy Sunday, everybody. Oh my God, it is like 20 to 10 for some of you. I'm going to perk you up. Pay attention, people. All right, and I'm admitting at the same time. All right, I'm going to look at a PowerPoint with all of you. So allow me to share my computer and let's talk about recruiting because that is my favorite part of this business. Okay, do I want to continue? I want to continue. All right, bear with me because I ride the short bus on this. Somebody tell me if you can see my computer. Perfect. All right. Get your notes out. These are the 5 things we're going to talk about. First of all, Angela. Oh my God. If the guy was hot or the dad was hot, 3 times this average looking guy sat next to me. And then his average looking son. Oh my God. I just had a comment on that. Okay. Your list. You know what I love most about training is it naturally, organically, we all end up aligning with each other, just how we talk about things. So we're going to talk about your list today. We're going to talk about your posture. We're going to talk about your approach, closing, and the chase. It is 8:41, and so help me God, I'm going to get there by 9 o'clock, people. So be ready. All right. Next screen. Oh, see, right. My next screen's not working. Oh, it is. It's just slow. Hold on. There we go. All right. Sorry. I'm special needs with this. All right. First of all, write down. You have 3 different humans that we recruit. Because you guys, at the end of the day, recruiting is a numbers game. I literally just said that to Craig Cotter because I was showing him what I'm doing. And he's like, how's it going? I'm like, it's going great because it's a numbers game. Get over getting emotional when someone says no. Do not wilt like a flower. You know what? In Pella, 65% of the people tell our sales rep no every single week. So if they're running 20 appointments for a week, 65% of the time they're told no. Just move on. Okay. So we have believers, we have needers, and we have builders. Okay. We are going to start with the believers. That's who, when you are making your list, that both Angela and Tiffany talked about. And by the way, Angela is so right. You're going to hear all these different ways to make a list. You guys, there's way more than one way to skin a cat. We're all different humans. I can't stand asparagus. Thank God other people love it for the farmers. We're all different. So you have your believers. This is where we're going to start. These are the people that trust you already. They're going to do whatever you do. They're going to do whatever you say. They say yes before you get things out of your mouth. These are what we call the red apples. Okay? You start there first. I don't care if you are the quietest, shyest introvert. You know a red apple. They're in our lives. Okay? The second kind of a person is a needer. This is who you're going to reach out to next. Okay. They need wellness of some sort in they're sick or they hurt or they're tired or they need more energy. They need something. They need more money. They need more confidence. As Tiffany said, confidence is built by doing things over and over again. You drive to somebody's house for the first time, you're slow, you're looking at your GPS. But by the time you've done it the 30th time, you're so much more confident, right? And can do it like the back of your hand. And many people need community. We have almost 300 people on this call. I've already hit, inside, you're like, oh, I'm a red apple. You already know, oh, I'm somebody that loves community, or this will help me build confidence. I need money. You know, people who love the wellness space. So many more people are getting away from pharmaceuticals when they can. Okay. People who lead with curiosity and care. Okay. And then your third group is going to be the Gina. They have influence, they hustle, they are leaders, and it doesn't need to be a title of a leader, you guys. You all know people who just naturally, they're like, okay, I got this. Everyone, I'll take the lead. They have a why. They want growth. They want purpose. Okay. You're definitely inviting them to build, not to buy. So there's some non-negotiables. If you don't, and again, there's almost 300 of you on this call. If you don't have a list, you don't have a business. Or said in a more positive way, once you start making a list and using it the way Angela was describing, watch your business grow. Actions bring results. And I want you to build it daily, even 5 new names and conversations. This is what Tiffany was just talking about. So let me give you a real life example. Today, for 3 hours, I got invited to a friend who is a realtor. And actually, I met him many years ago, 20 years ago, as a camp counselor when he was just graduating from college to be a psychologist specializing in eating disorders. He went on to be a very successful psychologist doing that. His name is Tony Wendorf. I think he's like 45 years old. But then the market was going crazy. Interest rates were 2.5%. And he got into real estate. And oh my God, he's literally in the top 3% in the entire state of Wisconsin. So he invited us to a client appreciation event at a country club today. You bet your boots I'm going to this client appreciation day because who knows how many people were going to be there. It's an opportunity to talk about what I do. So you meet new people and you just start having conversations. And I think Angela said it. I didn't say, I do Trinant. I want you to do it with me. I mean, you have to date before you can hop in bed, people, okay? Little bit of dating. So people, as I was talking, what do you do? Angela said it best. Ask questions. What's in it for them? It's all about them. The radio station WIFM. Ask questions and they naturally start talking about things. So one lady, a gentleman, and a husband and wife came up and recognized me. So we started talking a little bit about Pella on the TV commercials and what's it like to work with, certain football players. And the husband said, I would give anything to have all their connections for pain. I have so much pain. I said, really? What are you suffering from? Where do you hurt? You all see where I'm going. This is so obvious. So then he's describing his pain. It's in his lower back. It's so hard to get out of bed. I'm like, oh, listen to me. I can help you with that. And it's not going to be a window this time. So this is how you start these conversations organically, naturally, like Tiffany was saying, with normal conversation. Okay. I want you to write 100 names in 30 minutes. This is a challenge I was given right off the bat. And it wasn't even from somebody in network marketing. It was actually from my boss who owns Pella. Because when I started it, I was embarrassed. And he said, if you're going to do this, you either give it your all or you don't do it at all. And he said, so many people. I want you to write down 100 names in 30 minutes and don't you dare delete anybody. Because if you're not proud of what you're doing with any of those names you wrote down, then don't do it. Okay? So now I'm going to show you real life people on my team. I'm going to stop sharing for a second and I'm going to bring you 6 different people. And I am going to share with all of you. Tina, thank you always for such the warm welcome you give me. It's like everybody else says, if I'm having a bad day, just call Tina. It makes me feel so much better about myself. But, I had no network marketing experience, you guys. I didn't even know network marketing also meant multi-level marketing. I should bring a Bible when I talk about this. I didn't even know the company I joined was called Trinect. I didn't even know when Sonara said, well, go log into your back office. I'm talking to her 72 hours into this. I don't even know what a back office is. And she's like, what? And I'm thinking, listen, sister, just tell me what the hell a back office is so I can get there and do whatever you're telling me to do. And in 13 months, I became a diamond. And this is why. So I'm going to spotlight first. I want Colleen to come on first. We're going to look at 6 of my 5 personals, 1 not. So how do we show Colleen, Miss Michelle?
All she has to do is unmute and talk.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Tina.
Hi, can you hear me? Hello, everyone. Gina and I knew each other from our day jobs. Gina at Pella, Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and I was running 6 radio stations in town, and that is how we forged our long and trustworthy relationship, which became a friendship. So that dovetailed out of that, and kind of a sad end to it because I was reduction in force. I got downsized out. So found myself suddenly with 2 daughters who needed tuition and medical insurance, and I was out of a job for the first time in 20 years. Didn't even have a resume. My LinkedIn wasn't updated. And Gina called me and said, I have an opportunity for you. And knowing Gina, she's so busy. And I said, well, can I come and see you? She goes, I have a mani-pedi after work today. Come see me. She literally was getting a manicure and a pedicure. And I said, what is this? And she rattled it off. She said, just trust me. This company is going to be great. There's a compensation plan. And before she even stopped, I just said, here's my credit card. Just take it. Sign me up. I know you know what you're doing. I trust you. And let's go. And that's how it started. And I listened to Gina and I signed up my husband and my daughter. And then finally, my other daughter had to wait for her to turn 18. But I signed all of my family up. So we were in it. I just listened to everything Gina said. And my highest rank has been a Ruby. So I love it. I take all of the products. I am a Mojo NAD Plus, Glow, Optimize. I love all the products. It's great. But I have my ups and downs. So it's not easy, but I appreciate the network here and the support of everybody because it's really a great group and we all help each other. So that's how I met Gina and that's how she got me into this whole experience.
So thank you. So Colleen has stuck and stayed through the entire time. She signed up. I signed up January 25th. She signed up January 26th. And she would be a believer, red apple. Okay. We all know them. And again, just a reminder, we want everyone a minute or less, but I want you to see the diversity. No network marketing experience. Okay. Cosmina, can you come on and share with everybody? You heard what we're going to talk about, right? So unmute yourself. Or actually, while she's figuring out unmuting herself, let's go over to Jill Allen. Jill, will you share with everybody how we connected and how much network marketing experience you have?
Absolutely. So I met Gina 20 plus years ago. Our boys played baseball together. And year and a half ago, she started messaging me and saying, this might be something really good for you. I'm in this wellness business and I think you'd be really good at it. And I kind of just shook my head and I said, okay. And then she was consistent. And then one time I thought to myself, oh my gosh, wow, she believes in me. She absolutely believes in me. what am I thinking? I have so much respect for her. I would love to work with her. Let's go. Signed up, got the elite package, signed up my husband, my kids, so on and so forth. So I'm a nurse during the day. I help sick people, and now I can help people before they're admitted to the hospital stay healthy. I love that aspect of it. Love the products. I feel better. People notice. I love the residual income. I just had my second grandbaby, a third's on the way, and I will be present for them. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, I love it. And she mentioned Elite Bundle. Colleen was Elite Bundle. We don't talk about other, we're going to get to that in the close. Jill Sebance, could you please come on and introduce yourself and tell us how we met and how we got going?
Yeah, hi everyone. I met Gina. I contracted my services as a functional and nutrition practitioner to a local weight loss clinic. Met Gina there as a client. She, of course, shared her incredible success with weight loss using the Turn On products. And being the great listener that Gina is, she also asked really great questions about what I'm passionate about as a health practitioner. And I, of course, shared women's gut health, metabolic support. And for me, brain health is really important. My mother just passed for dementia. I was one of her main caregivers, so really passionate about it. And the great listener that Gina is, one day she left me a mojo. There's anything that I love being in this field, it's something that I get instant results, not only for myself, but for my clients. And I got instant results, so much so that I called Gina. And I think within 2 weeks, I had bought the elite package because I also have my own business. I spend tens and tens and tens of thousands every year on my business. So it's a no-brainer to spend $100 to align myself with a business that has amazing products, has the tools for support. So, and as everybody has said, Gina is just this trustworthy, solid, listens to you. So yeah, I'm here and I'm in it for the long haul.
Again, I want to just review. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth. We listen to learn, not to reply. When we listen to reply, we interrupt people and we assume what they're saying. And how many times have you all done that and it wasn't what the person was going to say? Listen to learn, not to reply in every facet of your life. I'm not sure we're going to get Cosmina unmuted. I've tried, she's tried. So I'm going to go to MJ.
I'm good.
Oh, wait, MJ, hold your thought. Cosmina, go.
Hi, everyone. I'll make this really short. Sorry about the technology issues. Me and Gina actually probably met about 15 years ago due to our husbands working together. Long story short, we kind of lost connection, but we still stay friends on Facebook. All of a sudden, I start seeing Gina's posts about the Tranant. I was watching very quietly in silence from the back. I don't even know if I liked or loved anything, to be quite honest with you. At one point, I was very intrigued by the Transform. So I reached out to Gina and I said, hey, how do I order a Transform? I got the product. Another funny story, right? Discipline was not quite my strong suit when it comes to supplements. So it was taken here and there. Obviously, the results were not there. Gina, let's stop this. Gina says, yes, we can, but I need you to give it a fair chance for like 2 months. So those 2 months in which I committed to give Transform a fair chance, Activate comes out. Gina says, if you want to give it a try, it's a great product. I can order it for you. Well, who knows me knows that patient is not quite my strong suit. So I said, I'm just going to sign up and have it delivered directly to my house. Another one of those situations. Here is my credit card. Gina just sent me back the username. I did not have any intention to do it as a business at that time. As I said, it was just patients that got the best out of me to try the product. I was in retail for 16 years, so the word sales, I think, kind of burn me out. I have zero experience in network marketing until I start digging into this. But here I am a year later. However, if I can conclude something with all this conversation is that actually people are watching you in silence. So you never know where that ace that you're looking for comes from. Thanks,
Love it.
Gina, for having me, and have a great night, everyone.
Thank you. MJ, can you do this in a minute or less, young lady?
Yes, I can. So, folks, I knew Gina through high school. We go way back 40 some years, and I had postmenopause fat around my belly. And I started scrolling. I see Gina pop up, and she's talking about how she lost weight. And she said in her little spiel, "Hey, message me for further details." So I scrolled and I looked and I messaged her, and she said, "Oh, yes, I can help you. And here's the product. Watch this video. When can we meet?" So we scheduled a phone call, and next thing I know, I'm like, "Okay, Gina, let's do it. I trust you." And so she said, "What flavor do you like? We have two options for hydration, and then we have this for coffee." And next thing I know, I'm spending over $1,000. And I was like, "Holy crap." And she's like, "Let's get your husband too." And I'm like, "Well, I'm in it to win it, so let's do it." And she said, "Okay, well, life goes on." We started the products, and she goes, "Hey," a few weeks later, she said, "Hey, you've got free registration because I got the Elite bundle. You need to get to Provo." I'm like, Provo, Utah? I'm not going to Provo. You need to go." And the reason is because training, your background, you could do excellent in this business. And I'm like, "Gina, da da da." Anyways, I said I asked her, and I went to Provo, knowing full well the only person I knew was Gina Della, and I knew she was going to be speaking. That I wouldn't even probably see her, but I went on a wing and a prayer. And as soon as I got to Vegas, and of course all the overstimuli, when I came to registration, from that point on, I saw all the associates just hugging each other. They're coming out of the woodwork. Everybody's happy. When I sat in on the training, I'm like, "These are my people. This is what I want to do so I can retire early." And I have retired since June. I'm recruiting, and this is the best move I've ever made since marrying my husband. So thank you, Gina Della.
Whoa. All right then. And so before I get to my sixth and last person who's preparing in her brain to be a minute or less, I want to recap the 5 people, all elite bundles, all different walks of life. Most I hadn't talked, except for Colleen. I didn't even know Jill Sebance. I hadn't talked to anybody else for 2 decades or more. Uh, Casmina, I had met one time visiting her family in Illinois. So nobody has network marketing experience. So now my sixth and final spotlight is Barb. And the reason I invited Barb is this is where Angela was talking about they're not all going to stay, right? Not everybody you sign up is going to stay. My second person I recruited in the business was what we've been talking about in our sprinters. It was, a friend, a customer, and she still is buying product. She has enough points underneath her, you guys. She is my second leg to be a sapphire or more every single month, but she doesn't do it. But she recruited, and I thought she'd be a superstar because her fiance is a national sportscaster. Everybody knows him. I mean, seriously, he should be doing this he'd have more than all of us put together, but he just can't figure it out. So, Barb, can you, in a minute or less, talk about you?
In a minute or less, I'm going to try. So, I actually was sponsored by another associate underneath Gina. So that's how I met Gina, and my sponsor isn't as active as what I needed. So I have been in sales and marketing my entire life, but I did not want another team. Excuse me. I have managed aggressive sales women my entire life, and I thought I was done with it. And until I came into Trinant because of the products, because my husband's diabetic. He had amazing results. I had amazing results. I'm a red apple. I bought the Elite. And through working with Gina and her mentoring me and us talking, I realized I do want to build a team again. I loved it. I mean, I need a checklist. I need goals. And since I would say recently, within the last couple of months, I am now thriving in this environment. I'm 60 years old. I've never been more excited in my entire life. I love Gina. She has been such an amazing mentor for me, which I didn't think I needed, I'll be honest. But the products are amazing. The opportunity is even more impressive. And you're just going to see some really amazing things coming from me and my team. Super excited. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Barb. What I also want all of you to know is every single one of those 6 people went to convention or TLA, whatever was when they signed up immediately, trusted. And that's Tina. I know I'm way over. Do you want me to keep going? Because we're going to get into that piece of it, or should
Yeah,
I?
no, you keep going.
All right, people, this is how you get your people to events. So now we're going to go back to sharing my screen. The reason all 6 of these people were, do you feel my passion, all of you? Can you please put a 1 in the, no, I want a 7. I want a 7 in the chat if you feel my passion, my energy, my excitement. Tina's putting 55 7s. Do you feel that? You guys, this is how I am when I go into the home and sell windows and I'm with all the sales reps doing ride-alongs. I've been doing that for 28 years. I go into every home as if it's the first home I ever was in. You have that same enthusiasm every single time. It's contagious. So you just keep on putting those 7s. I'm going to share my screen again. And here we go. Let's hope this works again. All right. No, backwards. There we go. All right. So how do we get people to events? How do we keep them to stick and stay with you and be excited? All right, it's your posture. Who are you before you're even recruiting, you guys? You don't need experience. You need confidence. You need belief. You need clarity. That's all you need. You don't need experience. Think of every single job you all started back in the day. If some of you are retired or you're fortunate enough you don't have to work, you still had a job at some point. You sure as heck didn't have experience, especially your first job, right? Guess what? Write this down. Posture is an invisible separator between average and elite leaders. I'm going to say that again. Posture is an invisible separator between average and elite leaders. Your posture checklist, how you show up, you guys, matters more than the perfect words. Words are so boring and make me go to sleep. You only need to be 1 chapter ahead. What do I mean by that? So when I started with Sonara, and God bless her heart for putting up with me because I didn't know anything. I was so red and shiny. I just literally gave her my credit card, you guys. I didn't know what network marketing was or a back office, like I said. All I needed to be was 1 chapter ahead. So when I talked to Colleen and she came to my mani-pedi, I was already a chapter ahead. Guess why? I already had signed up. So that was my chapter. I knew how to do it and I knew she needed to be elite. Does that make sense? Borrow belief if you have to by leaning on the tools. Trust your upline. Use your upline. Guess what, you guys? Your story beats your resume. I became a Pearl in my first month. You think I had a resume in my first month? And I weighed 172 pounds. So it wasn't because I was this cutie patootie Sonara and Haley called me Thumbelina, which completely cracks me up. I was 172 pounds. You're offering value. We're not going to beg. I am your proof. 0 network marketing experience. I hit diamond in 13 months. Talk about ignorance on fire. Stay that way all the time. So here are some sound bites I want you to write down. Think in your head. I don't chase. I sort. I sort between my 3 categories, right? The believers, the needers, and the hustlers. Confidence is contagious. How are you all feeling right now? I know I'm making some of you all feel totally confident because it's not hard. This isn't rocket science. And you're just offering an opportunity. Guess what? When you invite versus convince, you're going to be so much more successful. Again, what is posture? It is how you show up when you talk about what you do, not what you say, how you say it, and how you believe it. You guys fake it till you frickin' make it. Posture is the difference between inviting and convincing. When you're inviting, you're calm, you're confident, you're completely detached from the outcome. That means no emotions, no getting down. Oh, I can't do it. Woe is me. No, it's a numbers game. You're rooted in service and you're okay either way. People feel safe and respected when you invite. Okay? Versus convincing. Let me just let Nicolette back in. Versus convincing. Please see this. Oh my gosh, let me explain more. I just need you to understand. You're tense. You're over explaining. You're trying to manage the other person's decision. You're emotionally attached to the outcome. People feel the pressure when you are trying to convince, even if the offer is good. So we have a formula. Sonara always says, invite without being weird. Can you just do that? Tiffany said it. Can you just be yourself? You guys see me on my lives. Oh my God. There's nobody that's better at being you than you. So I'm not really sure why you try to be someone other than you, because it's you that the people are attracted to, whatever your personality is. So you first want to connect off your list of those people by separating them into the three categories I gave you. Then you're going to compliment them, starting with the red apples. And then you're going to have, gosh, Colleen, of course I want you to be with me in this. We work together already. We're super good friends. We know the same people. It builds trust right away. Oh my gosh, MJ, you are going to be so good at this. You are so different than I am. You were a police officer. I mean, you guys, did so good not saying the F word, by the way. I give her 5 stars. Then you need curiosity. So I gave you some examples of you got to ask questions. You got to be curious. Are you open to a side income if it didn't steal your time? What would an extra 500 or 1500 a month do for you? Are you happy with your energy and health right now? And you guys, don't be a robot. You do this naturally in talking. I'm going to give you an example. My son, Alex, when he was in high school and college, worked at Best Buy. And they hired an outside trainer because they didn't even have sales training at Best Buy. They hired an outside trainer that they spent $50,000 on that traveled to the different stores, and they taught them some scripts on how to add on to the sale. So yes, you're getting the daily health system, you're talking about it, but if you're over 25, we need you to absorb what you're drinking and eating and all this good stuff. So we're adding on to the sale with the enrich. The whole team was taught a script on how to add on to the sale. You're looking at a TV, well, you need the sound bar and you need all these things. And nobody was doing it. They said it's cheesy, it's so uncomfortable, I can't do it. All the while, Alexander David Della literally is going to town with it, making it his own. He came home, we practiced, he did it in the mirror, and he ended up his longest receipt was 5.5 feet. I want you to think about that right now. And it was to Sonara and Haley know it was to Bullwinkle's, the bar, because the guy who owned the bar restaurant came in, wanted one TV. Alex learned how to build rapport at 17 years old and ask questions. And before you knew it, he's like, well, I own Bullwinkle's and I need this many TVs. That's curiosity and asking and making it your own. Don't convince. You're going to sort the people in your groups and then you're going to invite. You're not selling the company, team. You're selling just the next step, okay? I have some scripts here. I'm not going to go through them. I don't do scripts. I just talk to people and I listen. And I listen. That's what I do. And then, they'll ask me how Pella's doing because that's what most people, 99% of the people know my day job. I'm like, I love Pella, but I'll tell you what I'm in love with. There's a difference with being loving and being in love. And I'm in love with Trinant. That is I can't even call it a side gig because I've been making six figures since my first year. That's literally what I say. Now, you're not all making six figures, but guess what? You can say your story and why you're doing it and why you're passionate about it. Okay? But can you not ever say the following? I'm sorry to bother you. I just wanted to ask you something. Oh, I know you're super busy, or would you support me? I'm doing something like Northwestern Mutual can you support me? I'm learning no, I'm not supporting you. It's only so many dollars. No, stop. I really need you to help me with this. You guys, I don't ever want to hear those words ever, ever. All right, how do we close? Closing isn't pressure, it's leadership. I love flipping closing. So I'm going to start first at the bottom right corner. I do not close people. I close confusion. When you can't close, it's only because you truly didn't overcome the objection. And so they're giving you objections that aren't true to make you go away. Rather, if you ask better questions, welcome them and welcome the objections, you're going to get to the truth and you're going to answer the questions. When they object and they ask questions, it actually means they're interested. And again, before I get to the elite bundle, write this down. You will hear me say it no matter what my topic ever is on stage. A no is a yes without enough information. And again, there's almost 300 of you on here. You were not yeses, most of you in the beginning, you were a no. Does that not hold true? You were a yes without enough information. And once we ask better questions and find the real objection, we can handle it. I close 90% of the time, and Sonara's my red diamond and my person. She recruited me so she can validate what I'm saying. 90%, and I've recruited probably 250 people by the time you add who I've recruited for my two kids, their wives, my husband, and most of them are elite bundle, 90%. Because I help them decide by listening. If they want results, I want to guide them to the strongest option. If they're truly serious, I recommend elite. You guys, it's the fastest path to success. And if you want more jades, then help them become a jade by offering them and teaching them why the elite bundle is the most important. Give examples they can relate to, analogies. If it's a female, can you seriously start a boutique of any kind? Brick and mortar, the clothes, the accessories, all the colors, all the sizes, all the seasons. You need your computer, you need your people, your insurance. A hair salon, same thing. You need the products, you need if you can rent it or they're taking part of your commission depending how you're doing that. Or let's even just say the window company. Just one of our 3 locations in Wisconsin, just walking into the showroom and we haven't even done anything is $2 million. Now think of what you make working at the window company and you're an employee there. I have made 6 figures since I've started Trinant by getting an elite bundle and doing it the right way and touching, tasting, feeling, understanding all the products. The products that come in single pouches, especially the high impact where it happens within 30 minutes, you feel it. I have everybody try. Okay? I say, or you could go with the starter pack. After I've made the whole thing exciting and I've made them visualize success. That's how I close. It's not pressure, it's leadership. And so I want to just end with the 5 common objections. I need to think about it. You guys, I hear this in Windows every day. You're trying to sell a flippin' elite bundle for $999. Try to sell a $30,000 to $100,000 window package and leave the house with a contract. You want to hear I need to think about it? Well, help me understand. What part are you unsure about? Is it the money commitment? Is it the time? Or is it that this is something new and you've never done? And zip it. Let them talk. That's how you build trust. Now you're building trust. You're caring about them, like Angela said. You don't have the money. Oh my God, do you know how many times I hear, if you knew it would solve your goal, would you find a way? And I also add, if I help you, I'm committing to you. If I help you, would you find a way? If I could help you figure out how to get your investment back before your credit card bill comes, your elite bundle investment back before your credit card bill comes, are you willing to do it? If I can teach it to you, I need their commitment too. I don't have time. Well, don't ever tell me who works 55 and when Tina said 70 hours a week, you wouldn't believe me, but I'm glad she said it. I do radio. You have no idea all the things I do. So don't be telling me you don't have time. So if I could show you 15 minutes a day, would you be open to seeing how we could work this into your calendar? I need to talk to my spouse. What will worry your spouse the most? The money part of it, the time commitment, skepticism maybe? If I could help you with that, would you feel far more comfortable? These all bring yeses out. I'm not a salesperson. Oh my God. How many of you said that on this? I can't see the chat right now, but please put in a 4 if you told someone you weren't a salesperson when you started. But you are. We all are. You got married. That was the best sales job you ever did. Look at Donnie Carroll, for God's sakes. Had quite the sales success. Have you ever recommended a movie, a restaurant, or a concert? Okay, you are a salesperson. So in close, there's the chase. Find the red apples in your life. Look at your list. They respond quickly. They ask questions. They show gratitude. They trust you. Water the seeds, you guys. That's all you have to do. Please don't beg the rocks and keep trying to get blood out of a turnip and out of one same person. Move on. And follow up is caring. That is world-class service. I followed up with Jill Allen for over a year. She never liked, she never loved. Cosmina never liked, she never loved. I do not hunt the whole orchard. The first people I want you to look for are the red apples. And I think you need to start fresh with a new list after tonight. So next week, in the next 7 days, I want you to add 5 names a day to your list. Because guess what? You're out and about every day. Like today, I was out and about. Unless you're home in your sweats and you're never leaving your house from the minute you woke up till you went to bed, you're out and about at the grocery store, the gas station, daycare, you're living life. Send 5 invites a day. Book 2 next step conversations. Use a third-party tool. Gal, we have all of it from corporate now. We have Craig's new 7-minute video. We have all these different Zooms. We have events. I don't know how people miss events. I would literally pack granola bars if I had to. I would do whatever I had to do to go to an event. When Sonara told me I had to go to my first event, I'm like, I literally just was on back-to-back work trips. So my inbox had over 4,000 emails, and I had just had a brand new baby granddaughter. She's like, do you want to do this or not? I'm like, oh, girl, fine. And I did, and I'm so grateful forever because then I became an emerald in 8 months. Who wants 8,500 a month or 11,000? Posture first, how you show up. Invite second, and always sort into 3 groups. If you act like you need them, you lose. If you act like you're offering value, you win. The end. Now I'm going to put it back to my beautiful Tina.
Hey, how many of you guys so much value? You got more than you bargained for tonight, didn't you? You got a full on training from three incredible women. And here's the deal. We're going to keep this so simple. You're going to create the list. Okay. You're going to create your list. How many of you don't actually have a list you're working from? And this is going to be a task for you, right? Don't want you to overthink it. You're just going to start writing names down. You're leaving no one off the list, right? Then you're going to start conversations with these people. Hey, how have you been? How are you doing? Super simple, right? Just use the green light message. Beth, would you put that message back in here one more time so they can see that? Just use that message. Keep it simple. And then literally, Gina just gave you solid gold. My recommendation is for you to come back and rewatch that portion that Gina gave you, where you can hear new things, take more notes. If you didn't get screenshots of the scripts that she's using, use those scripts. It's seriously incredible. And then guess what? Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, you're going to get Nicolette. And Nicolette is going to teach you how to pivot those conversations into the business and into the product so that you can get your one. The night after that, you are going to get Danny and Taylor, and they're going to be teaching you how to overcome objections. How many of you are like, I don't know what to say when someone tells me no, or you get a little freaked out, right? It just feels yucky. They're going to teach you how to overcome all those objections. You're going to get a full training on that. Then you're going to get me and Sarah. And Sarah and I are going to teach you how to use your uplines to help you close people, how this is such a huge, huge tool in your business that most of you are not utilizing. And then we're going to close it with Miss Heidi Draper, who's going to teach you how to close people and then how to launch them. So do not miss one. If you have to miss it because you're working or something going with the kids, make sure you catch the replay. We love you all. Have a great night.